Hello and welcome to the corner. I'm the Frosted Glass, and I'm joined by my fellow
Wait a minute.
Alvester
Wait.
What?
Are we live?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and then do your opening.
You son of a bitch. All right. Joined by my fellow Alvester Savages. I like boobs.
We need to get Terry to 275 subscribers now.
No. We need to reduce his subscribers. Moonshock.
Let's declare tonight's articles null and void and just talk about superheroes.
Well, I mean, Moon does
Are we
love
live?
superhero movies.
Yes.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Terry Diamantis.
I really
Is
hope
he
we
live?
find out who the narcissism is.
What'd you say, Terry?
I really hope one of these articles tells us who the poster child for narcissism is.
If you look on your screen right now, there's a monkey.
It's a reference to last week where the 1 hour long 6-minute article, Elon Musk is the world's richest man and poster child for narcissism.
Mine is a reference to me being an arrogant prick.
All right. And this week's special guest, the Ranting Monkey.
I am not live.
This is a recording.
This is all recording. It's scripted, Susan. Eat me.
Well,
Yeah.
just remember, a monkey always offers how many figures to see it?
7 figures for her to see it. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
For 8, she can play with it for a little bit.
So how are you guys doing?
I don't like
I'm shy.
movies. Superhero movies suck. You know that?
Except Tron Legacy.
It's not a.
Also,
He's dying.
Oh, we just
It's not
killed
a
Moon.
superhero movie, you asshole.
thank you to Braniel and Sunburst. They both subscribed to me.
You
Yeah. All right.
If you subscribe to Terry, I will tell you he will not clog up your subscription feed with any sort of rubbish like reading poetry or whatever the fuck this is.
Now, before we begin, I want to get real quick, and I will say that my dog is going to be getting surgery in a month. And if anybody can find it in their heart to donate, I would be really, really happy, and we would really appreciate that. So we need to raise about $2,000, and we are up to about 800.
What's he getting surgery for?
She's gonna have her tail.
Sorry.
She needs to have her tail completely removed because she has a condition known as a screw tail. And, and if you're familiar with that has and can cause life-threatening infections. Shush.
I think that most importantly, Monkey, did you just assume Moonshock's dog's gender?
No, I assigned it.
Yes, he is second. But there is the possibility, or actually a good possibility, for infections that could take her life, and we want to make sure that we take care of that immediately. So she will be having surgery in about a month.
Keeverdam posted the link to his Streamlabs in chat, and I pinned it. So if anyone wants to donate, click that.
We looks like there is one donation, so I did want to thank you, tall person that says Happy No Pants Day. All right, we can continue. Sorry, guys, for the interruption.
All right. Well.
Wait. Are we supposed to apologize if we interrupt? That's going to be an issue for me.
Sorry, I'm still a little bit from almost choking to death because you guys are so nice to me. You don't ever have to apologize.
It would be ironic if you
a little bitch.
It would be ironic if you survive cancer only to die from a Tron joke.
That's yeah.
That's just trash.
It'd make a great movie though.
For the record, everybody, Monkey has never seen Tron Legacy, and that is just a travesty. So we need to also get some fundraising for Monkey so that he can buy the movie and watch it.
The only reason I've seen it is because basically I was part of a movie group and you picked that movie for us all to watch.
I know, wasn't it? And then when we did my review, I never shut up for like 2 hours, did I?
Nope.
Okay, continue.
Let's
Whoa,
you say,
hold on. Jaeger Pony, thank you so much. It says for the doggy. Thank you so much.
And you kept going on about how deep the movie was. It's not deep. It's Tron fucking Legacy, for Christ's sake.
he was
There
talking
is
about
no
how
depth to be had.
he was talking about how deep it was in him.
Well, Son does say, well, yeah, duh. Monkey is straight.
Wait, what? Where's the depth in Tron Legacy?
All right, look, it's the depth is in understanding the concept of
Two
Shut it
motorcycles
down!
driving towards each other,
No.
turning quickly.
Monkey, just watch the stream on Tartnest's channel if it's still there, because this will take 2 hours if you let him talk about the movie.
Yeah.
I got time.
Hey, wait, are we live?
Elon Musk.
All right. So, what do you say we start with one of the articles I picked out especially for Monkey?
Is it about Tron? Because if so, I might leave.
No, it's not about Tron.
Aw. Wait, no, you gotta stay, Monkey. You are chained and bound. You are staying here forever.
No, I'm just crippled. It looks the same, but
I surrounded your computer chair with stairs.
oh, I'll crawl
And
up
if you
them
go
bitches.
outside, there are bats.
All right. So our first article. Yes, comedian privilege is a thing.
What?
So
Yes,
okay,
comedian
so,
privilege is a thing.
So
Where's
this
this
is gonna
from?
be about Dave Chappelle, isn't it?
They're all for Medium.
This is from Medium. They're all from Medium.
Anthony
All right.
Eichberger? Is that who this person is?
Eichberger, yeah.
Yeah, for the record, I can't see the article, so I'm going to just have to go by the reading. So,
All right.
if I
Chris
ask
Rock,
questions, forgive me.
Chris Rock and Will Smith just proved it. When we witnessed
Will Smith is not a comedian.
Oh God.
No, but
Chris
Chris
Rock
Rock
is.
is. And
But,
this
but then that
article's
would be Chris
probably-
Rock proving it.
No, because this is going to be about comedians just think that they can just get away with telling a joke because they're comedians. They're allowed to. And so this author is going to argue that no, if a comedian says something you don't like, you should be allowed to get up on stage and punch him.
There is a picture of our author in chat. So go and take a wonderful look at this fine individual.
I'm willing to take a guess that that's what it is right now.
Oh, wow. Is that a woof?
That is a dude.
I just got quite the reaction from Braniel.
Yeah.
crap. It's Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
And thank you, Attack Alpaca, who says she'll be back to sniffing butts and eating poop in no time. Thank you very much, my friend.
Attack Alpaca will be?
Attack alpacas into scat porn.
Frosted, Shaggy was a pothead, not a meth head. Get it right.
All right, let's see. When we witnessed the slap heard around the world, where Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, it set off a chain reaction of social commentary. At what level of severity was Smith's behavior? How do we measure the magnitude of disrespect Rock had aimed at Jada Pinkett Smith? I'll weigh in more extensively in a future piece of mine.
The disrespect, he just made a joke about her being bald.
Yeah, that's
He didn't
that's
call her a
heinous.
whore like she is.
No,
Well,
she's
maybe
a
if he-
skank, not a whore.
Maybe if he had, he would have gotten away with it.
Yeah, if he had mentioned it, he would have went up there and slapped his ass instead.
I've not seen that much. That Spud Gun says about our author. I've not seen that much soy in one place since I worked at a soy sauce factory.
I'll weigh in more extensively in a future piece of mine regarding my
Can't
deeper
wait.
assessment of both Smith's and Rock's conduct. But first, I want to explore another angle of this whole ugly incident. Are comedians being unduly persecuted for questionable humor? Is there a certain
Yes.
level? Is there a certain level of responsibility that comedians have as human beings, even when they're trying to spread the joy of laughter?
Oh,
No.
No.
God.
Well, they do have the responsibility of making the audience laugh. That's
Give this
kind
guy
of-
my email. I can answer all these questions for him.
If
you know what?
if you
You
make
can
the
leave a comment.
audience laugh, that's all you have to do.
Monkey,
That's
you
the
can-
job.
You can sign up to Medium and leave a comment and answer his questions.
Nah, see, that requires me to do something.
Well, Monkey, would you let Jada Pinkett Smith touch it for 7 figures?
Oh no.
With the number
No.
of guys that have been in there.
That's got to
No,
be
no,
discount at
you-
this point.
You can't let Jada touch it for money, because what'll happen is she'll sue you, take half your shit, and then the lawyers will take the rest.
And I've seen the way her husband slaps, so it's not like I'm afraid of that or anything. But no, I feel like there's an itch in there.
Iconism is the term I use to refer to what is essentially celebrity privilege. It
You don't get
refers
to make up your own terms.
Watch him.
Just call it celebrity privilege. You already did.
No
You don't need a
shit.
new word for it.
We're about 3 sentences in. It's gonna be a long one, folks.
I hate these people.
This is the term that I use for this other term.
What?
It refers
Just
to
use the language the rest of us are, shithead.
How about just calling them celebrities? Ooh.
No, that would be too easy.
It refers to unearned privilege and advantages bestowed upon specific people due to their celebrity status. Or alternative,
If people find these other people interesting for whatever reason, and it doesn't even have to be a good reason, it's earned.
Yeah.
Even Kim Kardashian, who is famous for the stupidest reason on the fucking planet, even she has earned her fame because people are interested by her for some reason.
Mhm.
or
Even the dog
I feel-
pissed off.
Which one of them had the sex tape?
I think that was Kim.
That was
Kim did.
Kim Kardashian, yeah.
Okay, so see, Kim is not famous for the dumbest reason. Her sisters are, because her sisters are famous because their sister's a whore.
Yeah.
Didn't Paris Hilton also do a sex tape too?
She
Yeah,
did
yeah.
one night in Paris. It was fucking horrible. It was boring.
I mean, these
But
things
I-
don't usually have production value.
No.
The fact
Have you
is,
guys seen it? Any of you seen One Night in Paris?
No.
no.
Well, Paris
I
is
don't
too
watch
skinny to
celebrity
be
sex tape.
hot anyway, so.
Yeah, that's why I don't find her attractive.
What?
So
I mean, maybe
It's still
Jack
a woman
Cochran
having
would like
sex.
her.
There should be something that's at least a little bit enticing about it. It is boring. You ever fall asleep to porn?
Is it like Dennis's sex tapes and It's Always Sunny?
Basically, yes, except for it's in night vision, and so she looks even creepier than normal. Her one eye that doesn't open all the way is like
Hey,
peering into your soul. And she is the dullest fuck, man. I feel like
So-
that guy should have got his money back.
she did a sex tape in night vision.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Stupid spoiled whore and celebrity playset.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
That's the
Wow.
night vision reference from that, because it was in night vision.
Yeah. Let's see. Or alternately, how non-celebrities, anyone without a significant public role, are unfairly held to higher standards than celebrities are.
Preach it, brother.
A subset of celebrity privilege could loosely be identified as comedian privilege. It would be where
No,
under
it's just
This guy's just breaking it all down, isn't it? Oh, we got celebrity privilege, comedy privilege. Wow, dude. What's next? Drama privilege? Horror privilege?
it would be where under the pretense of communicating through comedy, we tend to be more permissive of what comedians say and do than we'd be if it was a regular person saying or doing those exact same things.
Here's the thing, is that, first of all, comedians don't say it in the exact same way as regular people. Comedians say it with timing. If you fuck up the timing, ain't funny. So it's not the same thing. But even at that, theoretically, a normal person can tell a joke just the same as a comedian can. Hell, you could tell it funnier if they wanted to, because there is no bar, there is no license to being a comedian. Just as
Well, there-
anyone can be a reporter, just as
There might be in
anybody
the
can be a
UK.
celebrity.
It probably is in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much of the prevailing narrative has painted Chris Rock as the hero and or the victim with respect to Will Smith's behavior. I
He
agree
was. He was assaulted, you fucking idiot.
I wouldn't say hero. I would say victim. I mean,
Well, no, Monkey. Remember, these people think that words are violence, and they think that violence is a peaceful protest. So, judging things by sane standards is not really in their mental capacity.
And he did tell us that he's making up his own language to speak here. So I hear you. But in the strictest sense of the word, Chris Rock literally was the victim.
yeah, I agree he's a victim. I don't agree that he's a hero. He didn't really do anything heroic. He just got slapped. But
No,
If he can-
I
if he can-
think that it was. I think that it was kind of heroic how he just like didn't fall down after a guy who's a foot taller than him smacked his shit out. I thought that I was kind of impressed, to be honest.
Wow.
If he had kept making jokes about Jada, then he'd be a hero.
Oh
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm also waiting for this guy to get some kind of a thing here that says, for just $1,000 a day, you can sponsor the celebrity.
But you could tell Chris Rock wanted to make more jokes because he even said, "Oh, I could," and then he cut himself off. He's like, "No, that's not escalated." He could have really laid into Will if he wanted to.
Yeah, he should have gone
and the
full
thing
Ricky
is-
Gervais.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought it was funny how Chris Rock didn't even perceive it as an offensive joke. He just says it was a G.I. Jane joke.
Yeah.
Like, really? This is what you're going out of your way for?
Actually, I think that's the thing that set Will off. It wasn't the joke. It was the implication of that it was a G.I. Jane joke. The implication being, you know what I could have made fun of. And I think that's what riled Will Smith up.
Let's see. I agree that Rock is a victim in terms of the premise that Smith should never have hit him. I
Well,
disagree
obviously
that
he doesn't because victim is in scare quotes.
I disagree that
you're-
comedians.
You're a disingenuous sack of shit. Let's just get that on the table right away. Everything you're saying, all the lip service you're paying is going on deaf ears because you're full of shit.
Well, and the whole concept of celebrity privilege was actually defined that night too, because if anybody else but Smith had actually gone up there and just supposedly smacked the shit out of Chris Rock, they'd have been in a jail cell that night. Because didn't he get an award and all that kind of shit?
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
he did.
Yeah. So
5 minutes
that's
later, he
nuts.
got an award for best actor.
Yeah, and I mean, swearing at the host and smacking the guy. Anybody else would have gotten hauled off right there and then. This is complete bullshit. And this guy right here is just elevating these fuckers to a platform of, oh, feel sorry for these guys. Their privilege is just so horrible. It's really fucking annoying, to be honest. These people are no different than we are. Yet they're elevating them to like meteoric god status that everybody should just worship. Fuck them. That's what I say. Fuck them all. Not literally, of course, because
Yeah, I'm not fucking Will Smith.
How much money we getting?
I agree. I disagree that comedians should be likened to essential workers who categorically have more pristine ethics, value, utility, or morals than the rest of us do.
First
Oh,
of
it
all,
said
Say
that.
the comedians do.
yeah, first of all, who compared comedians to essential workers? Because I didn't see anyone do it. And second of all, I've seen what people like you call essential workers, and you're full of shit.
yeah.
No, but has anyone actually said that comedians have more ethics or morals than any? Like, why would anyone make that claim to begin with?
I don't know.
Yeah,
One of the voices
because-
in this guy's head.
Because they want comedians to shut up. They want
That's
people
true.
who make jokes at their expense to shut up, and they will say anything to get comedians to shut up.
Oh, they were just trying to be funny is never a valid excuse.
Yes, it
Incorrect.
It's a reason, dumbass.
There's a common theory that Donald Trump decided to run for the presidency after being roasted by then-President Barack Obama at the 2011 White House Correspondents Association dinner. Now,
Not
I'd
true.
be Now, I'd be the last person to argue that Trump's ensuing egomania was in any way an appropriate response to Obama's barbs. And Trump was definitely culpable for peddling the conspiracy theories that boosted his political rise. But if Obama had never made that crack in the first place, could we have ultimately been spared the bloviating noise machine that has become Trumpism?
Well, thank God he did make
wow.
that crack.
Did this guy just suggest we need to shut up comedians because Barack Obama might have made a joke that made Trump run for president?
Well,
Comedy
I mean,
caused Trump monkey.
Okay, look, this guy thinks that Donald Trump is literally insane, and that a little quip at what was it, the White House Correspondents' Dinner or some shit like that, a little quip from the President of the United States made a crazy person go even more crazy.
I just like John Oliver when he found out that Trump was running. He was like, "Do it.
Do it. Do it.
I will write you a check now if you run."
I want to know what standard they could realistically say, okay, fine, you can say this, because anything can make a crazy person do a crazy thing. You could say literally anything, and it could set someone over the edge. So what is acceptable by those standards if we are living by the standards that crazy people should dictate what we say?
Well, you can say that the left is right about everything. I think they approve of that.
Yeah. On the March 29 episode of CBS's The Talk, as their panel discussed the Smith-Rock altercation, co-host Jerry O'Connell expressed bewilderment at Smith's surprise that Rock would go there. From O'Connell's perspective, he'd always assumed that the whole purpose of awards shows was to roast the people whom we're celebrating. At another point, Talk co-host Cheryl Underwood vocalized the same pearl-clutching we'd heard from so many other prominent Hollywood comedians. They were now terrified of performing on stage in front of live audiences, due to the risk that they might be assaulted in a manner similar to, or worse than, how Smith accosted Rock.
Well,
By the way,
those pussies.
Yeah, Kiefer Dan mentioned this article was written before what happened to Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Yep. 3 days later on ABC's The View, when talking with guest Stephen Merchant, co-host Sonny Hostin stated in regard to the chilling effect this could have on comedians' artistic freedom. It's almost like a form of censorship for comedians.
It is. It's
Exactly what it is.
if you think that you don't live in a polite society, your behavior will adjust accordingly, and that includes censoring yourself.
Hostin regularly spouts a lot of ridiculous stuff, but that little gem made me want to scream through the TV at her disingenuity more than anything she has said in a long time.
She is not the one here being disingenuous.
I want to every time this guy goes to hit publish, I want to smack him and see how he feels about violence dictating behavior.
Well, that would be a peaceful protest, Monkey. I'm sure he'd support it.
I don't know, Monkey. This article is making me feel very crazy all of a sudden. I think that this person shouldn't be allowed to say all these things that make me feel so crazy.
I suddenly want to run for president.
I will find a way to vote for you if you do.
All right.
I'll vote for you anyway. Frosted glass, right in.
If I become president, I'll subscribe to Terry's YouTube channel.
So would that be the Glass administration or the Frosted administration?
I prefer the term Reich. All right, and I proceeded to call her out via Twitter. Not that I find it very likely she even read my comment.
Of course she did.
She did because you're a nut job.
And here's the tweet. Let's see. He's quoting her saying, "It's almost like a form of censorship for comedians." Then he says, "Gee, Sonny, maybe we should just reopen the Civil Rights Act and make comedians into their own protected class." Massive eye roll accompanied by violin music.
I thought that we had an amendment that already protected things like speech.
No,
Yeah,
not with the ministry.
no such thing.
Not with the new Ministry of Truth. No.
Of course, Hostin's embrace of rules for thee but not for me is emblematic of her pro-establishment narcissism.
Wait.
Hell no.
Wait. What is she? What is this person say? Rules for me, but rules for thee, but not for me. What rule is not being applied consistently here?
Obviously, she thinks everyone except comedians should get smacked.
I hate when people use phrases they've heard and don't understand.
Well, no,
Yeah.
this is what progressives do. Is they hear something, they hear a meme that the right came up with, and they copy it, except that they don't know how to use it, and so they sound like fucking morons.
Mhm.
So it's like when, remember when Snowflake suddenly flipped over and all the prog types started using it, and they didn't know how to use it at all, so it just sounded like, what the hell are you on about? That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I argue with morons of all stripes, and it's just morons repeat shit that they don't understand.
Yeah.
She has
Just
a long
they seem to be overrepresented on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has a long history of defending neoliberal elitism and sectarian sentiments, while centering herself amidst the discourse. Hostin's affection
What the
for
fuck is this guy talking about? It. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Hostin's affection for co-host Joy Behar, the last person with clean hands, and their
Oh hell no! That is
What?
so not true.
Joy Behar, really?
Oh my god, that woman could wash her hands for an entire fucking year and those things still not be clean.
and their other Hollywood comedian friends took precedence over intellectual honesty here.
God.
By contrast, O'Connell's cluelessness seemed to me that it was more a case of innocent naivety on his part. I don't think we should hold comedians to a higher standard than everyone else. But by that same token, we shouldn't lower the bar for them just because they're trying to be funny. With that
Okay, what is the bar for you? Is the bar things that you say that will get you slapped? Because you can say anything and should still have government protection from being physically assaulted.
No one should have
Unless
that
you make fun
protection.
of someone's bald head.
Yeah. With that in mind, I invite you to check out the following 5 op-ed pieces by other Medium writers regarding such controversies.
Are
I'm
we
gonna
going to?
pass.
Yeah, I'll definitely pass on that. Thanks, but no thanks.
Comedians shouldn't receive disproportionately high punishments when they offend audiences. However, they also shouldn't be given carte blanche to do or say whatever they want just because they're viewed as funny by their echo chambers
they
of
should.
devoted fans.
They absolutely
Look,
should.
if you want to punish them, don't buy tickets.
Yeah.
There's your recourse, moron.
We'll want you to at least read the titles.
Alright, let's see. White Supremacy Incorporated? Is
Oh my
is abuse ever funny?
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally, a comedian actually got canceled. From Will's ridiculous ego to the bystander effect, the psychology behind that Oscar slap. And he got in one
Wait,
little
read that
fight.
one again.
From Will's ridiculous ego to the bystander effect, the psychology behind that Oscar slap.
Legit.
I have a feeling that article would reveal much more about the author's psychology than Will Smith's.
I think most of these articles do.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I do like he got in one little fight. At least that's a reference to the Fresh Prince.
Man. Let's see. So, comedians, here's my message to you. Yes, keep experimenting with your humor. Delve into how you can push the envelope. But if someone tries to engage you by pointing out how your material has dredged up trauma or indignation for them, be willing to listen and
Wait,
ask
I'm sorry.
questions.
Wait. Did Will Smith get up there and try to have a conversation with Chris, and then Chris wasn't listening, so he slapped the shit out of him?
Not quite.
That's what I saw.
Did I see the abridged version of this shit?
Yeah, he engaged him in a tete-a-tete for several minutes and then slapped him.
All right.
First, Chris Rock made the joke. Then Will Smith got really upset, and then Chris Rock started shouting anti-Semitic remarks for the next 20 minutes, uninterrupted by commercials, mind you, until Will Smith finally did the decent thing and hit him.
Can I get a copy of that video? I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Use that feedback to hone and improve your own comedic set lists. Take a
Hey,
page.
listen to unfunny people tell you how to be funny.
Exactly.
Take a page from the politically correct virtue signalers, whom so many of you paradoxically appear to worship. Be better,
Oh
do
yeah,
better.
we love virtue signalers.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have nothing but praise for them.
Be better, do better, check your privilege. Your celebrity/comedian privilege.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I
Wow.
don't worship any of those celebrities.
This guy is so disillusioned, it's not even funny.
I'd been saving that one for Monkey.
That guy's a giant pussy who probably just hide.
Well, he looks like
I
one
hate-
too.
I know why you did this, because you've heard me have this rant before. Sorry, I'm going to rant on your show. If somebody's trying to be funny, even if it turns out that it's not funny, if it's offensive, if you know they were trying to be funny, then even if you don't find it funny, it's like, okay, that's not for me. I'm going to go on about my day. Or even if you want to, hey, I think you're a fucking idiot. You don't get to get up there and then either try to cancel them completely because you didn't like it, or, as we're seeing now, actually assault people.
No. If a comedian's act offends anybody, then obviously that means they need to work on that act and change it.
Keep your bitch ass home.
I
Go
mean,
watch
even if,
reruns of
even-
Full House, because apparently that's as much as you can take.
No, but I
Even
want to see someone like Jimmy Carr, like take this on board and do a completely inoffensive version of his act. It'd be like 20 seconds long.
And
even
boring
if
as
he
shit.
wasn't, even if he wasn't trying to be funny, that's still not an excuse to get up there and hit him. Even if he just wanted to be a jerk, it's still not an excuse to get up there and hit him. Just leave. How about that?
Offensive jokes are violence.
That's true.
I hear what you're saying about, even you're not allowed to hit, which, by the way, I still disagree with that slightly. But there is a special case. This stuff that he's bitching about here, like, well, comedians don't get us, but no, you're literally going to a place where they're going to make jokes, and there's a chance that they might say something offensive. This is Chris Rock, by the way. I've heard him say far more offensive shit than Jada Pinkett is fucking bald.
Yeah.
And this guy's wigging out over it because it's become this whole nonsense that comedians can't make jokes that might offend one person. People can literally be offended at anything, which means you can't make a joke about
I've never
anything.
said anything offensive in my life, so I'm safe.
Yeah.
That kind of is like what I was saying earlier. If you're doing things based upon the whims of insane people, then you can't do anything because insane people can respond to anything.
Well, okay. Just as an example using myself, I mentioned last night because of one of the articles we read, some idiot was talking. It wasn't even an article. It was a Twitter thread where a guy compared miscarriages to suicide, two things that are very personal to me because I've been through both. I could be very offended at suicide or miscarriage jokes. I laugh at them all the time. So not even necessarily, just to the point, not even necessarily crazy people. There can be reasons that you're actually offended at a joke somebody made, and then you just go about your fucking day. go away and let it go, and it'll be all right.
No,
But
you
but
barely
instead they
survived
have
that.
to.
You
Ugh.
barely survived that comment, Monkey.
I know.
Yes, that comment has disfigured you for life.
Is that what did
Words
it? God damn it.
disfigured you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. I've been around a lot of really bad jokes my whole life. It fucked up my spine.
Yeah. Listen to Cher, Monkey. You know, words are like weapons. They wound sometimes.
But
All right.
it really is a testament to the times that we live in, where you could actually go and burn down an entire fucking city and nothing happens to you. Yet the first time someone says bad words, they get hauled off or they get crucified socially. It's stuff like that. It's just amazing how this kind of shit happens.
Chris Rock should have set Jada Pinkett Smith on fire is what should have happened.
Yeah, Vinny would have been just fine.
Remember, words are violence, and violence is peaceful protest.
Unless, of course, you gather like the ones on January 6th, because that was obviously a riot and peaceful protest.
Hey, they didn't set anything on fire. That was their mistake.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because then it would have been a fiery but mostly peaceful protest.
Yeah,
They didn't break nearly enough windows.
Not enough of them died or got arrested.
No.
Yeah,
well,
the one picture you see from January 6th, it looks like there's a fire. It's actually where they caught it just as a flashbang was going off.
Oh my god! Wow.
Well, one of them
True
died,
story.
but if they had killed someone else, then it would have been acceptable.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, one death is not enough. Need more.
Yeah. All right. So with the end of the first article comes the first game,
Best
and that
of
game
all.
is Sad Libs,
Best one ever.
Second
Where-
best.
where I take 4 headlines from Medium, take out one word, and you guys fill in that one word Mad Lib style, and then the chat votes on which one is best. So, Jack, I need a noun.
In honor of our guest tonight, I'm going to say monkey.
Suck up.
Well, no, I'm just hoping it plays into an unfortunate. You know what I mean?
I hear
Reference
ya.
to black people.
Let's see. Moon, I need an adjective.
All right. Before I do that, thank you again, tall person. What is easier to pick up? The heavier it gets, women.
That's true.
An adjective, whorish.
I like it.
That sounds like a language you would speak in Lord of the Rings. All right, Terry, I need a transitive verb.
I'll follow on from the article and say offend.
All right. And Monkey, I need a transitive verb.
You have to tell me what transitive verb means.
It's just where you like do something to something or someone, like push, pull, hit.
Oh, gotcha. Masturbate.
It's when a verb gets on a bus, because it's transiting.
That was so bad I had to laugh.
Thank you.
I appreciate the bad joke.
We are all now dumber for having heard that.
Jack,
No,
why don't
I
you
was-
read?
I was
Jack, why don't you
offended.
read what Mike R says in chat?
What?
Read what
Mike R said in chat.
No.
He didn't say anything
I'm not your
important.
fucking monkey.
Say the line, Jack. All right. So Jack's is keep your monkey out of my uterus.
You've been talking to my wife.
All right. And Moon's is hey, male stranger, please send me a picture of your whorish genitals. All right. Terry's my husband wants to offend because I refuse to have sex with him. Oh, offend me.
Oh, okay.
I'm on his side.
All right. And Monkeys, let's masturbate our parents along with Joe Rogan.
Oh.
That's unfortunate.
That's Sorry.
The sad
I
thing
think
is,
that-
I think it might be the funniest one there.
No, I would vote for Jack. I think
Keep your
Jack is
monkey
funny.
out of my uterus.
Yeah.
All right, and give me a second. I'll start a poll so the chat can vote on it.
Monkeys is the most disturbing, but I think Jack's is the funniest.
Now, mine is definitely the funniest, but it's most disturbing, so that takes it off.
What about the Horus genitals?
That's just, I mean,
It fits too
aren't
well.
they all?
Yeah, that's true.
Vote monkey and I'll lower your taxes.
I'll forgive your student loans.
Eventually.
All right, looks like Monkey's in the lead with 20 votes.
Damn.
Well, with 20 votes in.
Poor Terry.
Yeah. Well, mine wasn't very good, so I don't expect votes for that.
I want to know what the real one was for yours.
For which one?
For the offend.
Oh, it's my husband wants to divorce me because I refuse to have sex
okay.
with him.
I am still on his side.
Yeah.
I like boobs. We're having many requests from the audience for you to.
I don't just say it on command. The timing has to be right.
Say it. Say it. Say it.
He's gonna say it during the next article. He's gonna say it during the next article.
You know how Sam Kinison said it in Back to School? He's like, say it. Say it. Say it.
I do believe it is a living female.
Yeah.
Terry got a vote.
Yeah, I got a pity vote.
All right. Well, we got 30 votes in, so I'll call it there. So it looks like
I gave
Monkey,
you a pity vote, Terry.
Oh.
looks like
So you had
Monkey
two of 'em.
wins with 41% of the vote.
Y'all voted for parent masturbation. Y'all are wrong.
I
Yeah.
voted for
Mon-
Jack.
Monkey won with a minority. Has that ever happened before?
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
I mean,
must have.
Epstein won with minorities.
Oh.
All right. So I believe you guys recall last week's first article, the 6-minute
Nope.
read
That turned
Yeah.
into an hour and a half.
by
No, only an
Mr. Tim Wise.
Oh,
Well.
not him again.
Oh no.
We
No.
have another 6-minute read.
No.
Excellent. Is this one about Elon Musk?
Here's what the reversal of Roe v. Wade is really about.
Oh,
can't
no. No. Braniel's getting another drink, everyone.
It's not states' rights or even abortion. It's the control of women and the imposition of Christian authoritarianism.
No.
No.
Who is that picture of? Who is the caricature of? Which justice?
Samuel Alito, the guy who wrote the opinion.
This is projection. I can tell you right now, right out the gate, this is projection because all the opposing argument is give me abortion, I want abortion immediately. I don't care how you do it, just give it to me. That's what the opposition's argument is. That's what it boils down to. There is no principle involved. There's nothing. However, Justice Alito wrote out a very well documented, very well reasoned thing, and no one has read it.
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry, Monkey might be the only person here tonight who has read it.
Yeah, and you know, to be honest, you said it well reasoned and well documented, overly so. The actual opinion did not need to be 98 pages. The 98 pages, there's, I want to say about 10 of them that are footnotes of different abortion laws throughout the country. The rest of it is all opinion. Not only was it was painstaking.
If you get the chance, Matt Christensen did an excellent video where he details at least a few of the different arguments that make it into that paper, and it is solid. It is very well reasoned.
You can tell a lot about a person by the company they keep, whether it's their close friends or the ideological company with which they cavort, or those whom they favorably quote. Consider Justice Samuel Alito, who in his recently leaked draft opinion overturning Roe v. Wade, made it clear whose authority he believes we should rely upon for assessing the legitimacy of abortion. That
The
authority,
Constitution, the Magna Carta, Old English law. Which one is he talking about?
that
Sir Matthew
authority,
Hale.
Sir Matthew Hale, a 17th century English judge. In his decision,
Who?
in which he says the court misinterpreted history when they legalized abortion in 1973, Alito references Hale, who insisted
No,
that
he didn't say they misinterpreted history. What he said is that they ignored history. Again, I have actually read it.
let's see. Alito references Hale, who insisted that abortion was a great crime. Even though Hale
Maybe
wasn't
he meant great as in really good.
Yeah,
Right. It's one of the best.
this is an awesome crime.
Now I ain't got to get that bitch money.
Even though Hale wasn't an American judge, whose meanderings might be seen as a matter of national importance, Alito insists his views are relevant. Why? Why? Because they speak to the common law tradition to which we should be largely bound and from which he believes Roe grievously deviated.
Not what he believes. How laws are actually settled, you stupid fuck. Which,
And he
by the
said-
way, he explains in the decision.
And he says this even though no state outlawed abortion for the first century of the nation's existence, despite that common law history.
Yeah, it wasn't happening.
Because the thing with common law is that, it goes by precedent. So when, a judge says something like abortion is a great crime, then that kind of makes it a crime. Let's see. In other words, the founders didn't give a rip about Judge Hale. But according to
What?
Alito, the founders didn't care about Judge Hale.
Okay.
But according to Alito, Hale is the authority to whom we should look for guidance here. This tells us a lot about Samuel Alito and the thinking of the anti-abortion right wing. Because Sir Matthew Hale wasn't merely a jurist who viewed abortion as a horrible offense. He was also one who imposed death sentences on women for witchcraft, and devised
They shouldn't have been witches.
the theory that a husband couldn't be guilty of raping his wife because the raping cannot be guilty of rape upon his lawful wife, for by their mutual matrimonial consent and contract the wife hath given herself up to this kind unto her husband, which she cannot retract. Lovely. This is the individual to whom we should listen. A man who murdered women under cover of law and justified their rape under the same.
Slightly melodramatic.
Yeah, I actually
Murdered.
did a quick, Wikipedia search of Sir Matthew Hale. He died in 1676, which was well before the Salem witch trials. So, convicting witches was just kind of a thing back then. Let's see. He and not our own notions of right and wrong should guide us. He and not women themselves should be the arbiter of how their pregnancies progress, or if they do. This is what the right has always believed, that the thinking of long-dead men, especially white men and Christians, should take priority over modern notions of justice and equality.
Oh my Jesus
How
Christ.
many people
Okay.
from the court that gave us Roe are still alive?
None, probably.
What makes good law is reason, not the person. This is something that I've seen a lot. These people conflate a person with their ideas. The ideas exist on their own merits. If you want to engage with conservatives, you have to attack the ideas. You have to provide reason as to why the ideas specifically are bad. If you just go after the person who said it, you look petty and stupid,
But the
which is
person who
how
said it
Tim
was evil,
Wise
Jack.
looks.
The person who said it was evil, therefore you must disregard everything they said. Unless they accidentally agreed with you, then,
It's like every Martin Luther King Day. Whenever they're always like, "Oh, well, Martin Luther King was like a communist. Did you know that he was a socialist? Did you know that? Did you know?" Yeah, we don't talk about Martin Luther. Even if you were right, and I sincerely doubt you are. We don't talk about Martin Luther King because of the man. We talk about it because of the ideas that he gave to us.
the racist ideas.
Yeah, like color blindness.
Yeah. Without those, it doesn't really matter who said it. If anyone said it and they became famous for it, the ideas are what carried them.
Oh, and I didn't read the whole court decision, but I did go and read the part where they mention Hale, and it's basically just Alito showing that there was no precedence for the Roe v. Wade decision because and he includes that common law had abortion as a crime. And, you may be wondering, why he references this awful person, Hale. That's because he was the first one to codify a common law.
Sounds evil to me.
So he literally wrote the book on common law. So
Well, you're an Australian, so a British guy who was writing about law probably offends the fuck out of you.
And basically every nation that was once a British colony, like America or even Australia, is based on common law.
Now we're under emu law since we lost the war.
Let's see. Okay. This was never about states' rights or even abortion per se. Anyone who believes the fight to overturn Roe has been about abortion alone hasn't been paying attention. It was never that simple. Nor was it about returning these matters to the states. Oh, sure, some conservatives would insist that was their only purpose. They would say things like, 9 judges in D.C. shouldn't tell people in Alabama or Nebraska how to think about the sanctity of human life. In other words, states should be free to live by their own moral convictions on such matters.
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
No, it's evil. If Mississippi wants
you have to do everything the way that I want it, or you're wrong.
If Mississippi wants to outlaw abortion, it should be allowed to. If California wishes to keep it legal, so be it. But
what I want to know is, can I just? Why are it that these people are so insistent that every state allow abortions? Because guess what? If you are really that desperate, you can just go to the next state. Go one state over, and it'll be a day trip for you. I'm sure you love that sort of thing. You like to shout about your abortion. Have a big road trip to celebrate your abortion.
I mentioned it on Minions, but it seems to me like the positions should be reversed because given that it's mostly black babies that are being aborted, you'd think the left would be like, no, do not abort our future voting base. Like,
I don't know how much you know about Democrats. They're really not fond of the black people.
Yeah.
But they've got the black votes supposedly. Like most black people vote for them, so it's like, do not abort, our future votes. Even if they are black, they're still votes.
They have the black vote on lock because, unfortunately, there's a lot of history, but basically black people now, if they don't vote Democrat, are going to not get, frankly, the money. They're not going to get the money. And so a lot of them feel that they have to, which is really kind of sad when the rest of
It
us
is.
are trying to be like, you can live without the money. You can have a life. And no, it's just,
It's weird because the last time someone crossed a state line and killed someone, they were against it.
Hmm.
If he'd actually killed a black person, maybe they wouldn't have been.
Yeah. Let's see. But they never meant any of that. Now that Roe is to be overturned, those who fought to make that happen have revealed their true selves. They now admit their desire to obtain a nationwide ban on abortion if Republicans reclaim control of both houses of Congress.
You couldn't ban it that way. The same way you can't pass a law in Congress, because Schumer's about to do this. They're going to hold a meaningless vote to put everybody on record on abortion. With the Alito verdict coming down, it literally goes back to the state. No matter what they do in Congress, it can't change unless they pass an amendment. So this guy's a fucking retard. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, yes, that was well established last week. This guy is a retard.
Hey, doing
I mean,
the same
theoretically, couldn't it just go back to the Supreme Court in a future case, and they could just recreate a new Roe and basically have the whole thing start all over again?
Theoretically, they could, but now with this decision on there, they would actually have to explain that wasn't done in Roe, actually give an explanation for why they're doing it, how they justify it. Because the justification that they gave, Alito does a really good job of tearing apart.
Yeah, but also, I mean, considering the source, do you really think they have to? I mean, they need to maintain appearances, of course, but these are people who don't act by principle in any way. They could just say, we want it, and so we're doing it.
In theory, yes, but believe it or not, the Supreme Court, for whatever flaws they have, they do tend to be a lot more tempered than we are just generally in society. And when you have even somebody like Ginsburg on record saying that this was a bad fucking decision, it never should have been handled this way, the only thing you can really do is an amendment. Otherwise, leave it to the states and be done with it.
But Monk, I mean, it's just, my hesitation is that we have a Supreme Court justice who openly questioned the purpose of the 10th Amendment.
I hear you. Believe me, I understand. I do have more faith in the Supreme Court than most people do.
I have zero faith in anything at this point.
At least in the modern court.
Yeah. I have very little faith in it. I wish I could, but the two-tiered system has just been so absolutely prevalent. I have very little faith in it anymore.
Which shouldn't be surprising. After all, if you believe abortion is murder, and that embryonic and fetal life is morally equal to the woman carrying it, it stands to reason you wouldn't be satisfied with banning abortion in 26 states. Once one decides a woman has no right to bodily autonomy, and that she can be forced to sacrifice that body to another being against her will, federalism becomes a trifle. But not only that, far more than abortion is at risk. By ruling that the legal basis for Roe was faulty, that an implicit right to privacy exists in the Constitution, the court has thrown down the gauntlet against the last half-century of jurisprudence regarding sex and gender.
Sorry, keep going.
Privacy was the basis for Griswold v. Connecticut decision, which struck down state laws against contraception.
That one's true.
If there is no right to privacy, there is no right to control one's reproduction, even before becoming pregnant. Though no...
All right, stop there. As I pointed out on the show last night, even if they struck down Griswold, which could happen, I don't see it happening, but I don't see any of the 50 states going, sorry guys, you can't use rubbers.
It's going to be nationwide. You know, like no condoms, women will be forced to have babies.
Yeah, this retard didn't say it, but yeah, Griswold was about married people using birth control. So just to give you all a little bit of a context that this fucking retard didn't.
Like I
Even
said,
if they did shoot it down, and it probably should be for the same exact reason Roe was. Griswold, not everything else that this idiot's going to mention. It goes back to the states, and then the states are like, yeah, you guys can use condoms. The end.
yeah, I mean, I still can't get over it. Why can't you just go to the next state? If you don't like the laws, if you cannot abide by the laws, why can't you just go somewhere where they are? You have 50 states. Some of them are probably going to agree with you. Some of them are still going to allow you. Do you think that not nationalizing law means that every single state is going to suddenly ban abortion? No. There are countries in the
California
world.
and New York exist, so
There are countries in the world where you cannot get an abortion. It is totally illegal to do so, or at the very least, at will abortions. I don't know about like the fringe cases that people go on about, but I'm sure there are places like that.
There are absolutely places where you cannot get an abortion.
Yeah, and it just blows my mind that these people demand homogeneous.
We know what
Terry,
you
help
mean.
me out.
Homogeneity, but
They demand homoeroticism.
For the record, that is not the first time that word has tripped me up on this show, mind you.
I'm not judging anybody for tripping up on a word.
Let's see. Though no state would outlaw all forms of contraception, it is certainly conceivable that several might seek to ban birth control pills, which some believe falsely.
No, it's not.
which some believe falsely to be abortifacients.
Do you think it was a deliberate pun that he said conceivably?
No, I don't think he's that smart.
Yeah. Beyond matters of reproduction, Lawrence v. Texas, the decision striking down so-called sodomy laws, really the outlawing of homosexuality, relied upon the principle of privacy now put in the wood chipper by the highest court.
Stop. No. Sodomy laws are, honest to God, they're not just against homosexuality. You guys do know, like, oral sex is sodomy?
Yeah.
These were laws to, they're more Catholic-based laws to keep you from having sex, wasting seed, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's what these were, you fucking lying piece of shit.
Context,
which I guess does have the same thing with homosexuals.
Context is problematic.
But fucking a dude's probably not going to end in pregnancy.
Whoa. It's 2022. You can't say that, monkey.
Yeah. Are you saying men can't get pregnant? Gavin Newsom?
Not in their ass.
Monkey the turf.
Yeah. He strikes me as a radical feminist.
Yeah. Really, the outlawing of homosexuality relied upon the principle of privacy now put in the wood chipper by the highest court. And since Alito's opinion insists rights aren't real if they haven't stood the test of time over many generations, it seems almost certain
that's not just his reasoning. This happens in Supreme Court law all the fucking time.
Now, this is unprecedented.
Unprecedented. Fucking idiot.
Let's see.
This is why I can't get through videos on my own show.
It seems almost certain that he and his reactionary colleagues would find overturning Lawrence and once again outlawing LGBTQ folks acceptable.
It didn't outlaw, even then, it didn't outlaw them being gay. It outlawed them having gay sex.
Yeah.
You'd still be gay, just bang somebody of the opposite sex. You'll be fine. I'm told you can do that.
Especially in 2022. Just have them identify as whatever sex is the opposite of yours.
There you go. Win.
And afterwards, if you're really that bent out of shape about it, have a fag.
Yeah, this guy's butthole identifies as a vagina.
There you go. Win.
Vagina.
Vagina. That fucking movie.
Let's see. As well as marriage equality. Although Obergefell versus Hodges rested upon more than an implied privacy right, it also turned on notions of equal protection. There's little
Which is
doubt
actually written into the 14th Amendment, you fucking retard.
that technicalities, yeah. There's little doubt that Alito would apply his anti-Roe logic to that decision. Indeed,
Except for the end of the fucking thing where he literally says this doesn't apply to anything else. He literally wrote that.
Oh, come on. Are you going to believe the actual decision monkey or this guy?
Tim Wise lives up to his surname.
Yeah.
He's the font of all knowledge.
Jesus. This one offends me more than the first article, just for the record.
The night is still young. All right. Indeed, he already did in his dissent to Obergefell, an opinion for which he didn't have a majority then, but likely would now. The real goal is domination and control, the restoration of traditional hierarchy. It is time to face the facts. First, those who still say there's no real difference between Democrats and Republicans are unworthy of being listened to about anything beyond restaurant Yelp reviews at this point. If you're one of those who thought it would be no big deal if Trump won, or if some Republican senator...
I thought it would be a big deal in the good direction.
It was a great deal.
Yeah.
Huge deal.
We were told in the Lincoln Project's ads that if Trump was reelected, then Roe would be struck down. But he wasn't. So it should be fine.
Yeah.
It's Biden's fault.
Well, this just in, Roe has not been struck down because Trump was not reelected.
Or if some Republican senator in your state did, so you sat out the elections or voted for some third-party candidate so you could feel pure. Seriously, fuck you very much.
You're welcome.
Isn't that what Jack Murphy said in the thing where he...
Yeah, fuck you very much. Heartfelt.
Yeah. All right, Jack Murphy quote. All right. Second, know this. The war on Roe was never about abortion, so much as restoring traditional hierarchy and authority.
No, it's literally about abortion.
It's hierarchy and authority. So we white men can be in charge. It says right there.
Yeah, black and white.
Outlawing abortion and limiting, if not banning, certain types of birth control strips women of sexual autonomy and restores hegemonic...
This is birth control now?
Yeah. I mean, it could possibly happen if you think about it, so it's going to happen.
All right.
And restores hegemonic sexual power to men, which is precisely the point. They aren't principally concerned about fetuses and embryos, let alone babies.
You want to restore sexual power to women? Teach them to stop using their vagina so inappropriately.
Well, you can't do that. That's misogyny.
Did you guys see that stupid fucking thing on TikTok where women are like, this is going to make it so women stop having so much casual sex in bars?
Yeah, I love that.
It's a good thing, shithead.
I was just this is so gonna be a turnoff for all the conservative-minded people out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say the best thing was all the religious right going. So you're gonna give up casual sex and abortion? It's not even my birthday.
Wow, this might convince women to act responsibly. How horrible!
Wow, what are you gonna next have a traditional household family next? Oh, don't do that.
As Margaret Rankle noted in her recent New York Times piece, if they would support policies that would bring down abortion rates dramatically by reducing the number of unplanned pregnancies. They would want expanded access to birth control and more comprehensive sex education, which actually works, unlike the abstinence version. But they have supported neither of these. Why? Because their desire to limit abortion and save fetal life was always less important to them than restricting sexual activity outside of marriage, or sex for pleasure without the possibility of procreation. Additionally, as Wrinkle notes, if they'd been concerned with reducing abortions, they would have supported expanded social safety nets for families and children, affordable child care, paid family leave, and more comprehensive health care coverage.
Could you read that whole last sentence again?
Let's see. Additionally, as Wrinkle notes, if they'd been concerned with reducing abortions, they would have supported expanded social safety nets for families and children.
Okay, stop right there. The only reason people are having abortions is because there's not enough welfare. Is that what that fucking retard just wrote?
Yes.
All right.
Monkey, there are notoriously few single mothers on welfare, Monkey.
Oh, okay. I guess if you give them a little more welfare, then go shopping, and then they're not fucking at that time. Sure. Whatever.
Let's see. Affordable childcare, paid family leave, and more comprehensive health care coverage, rather than
None of those things would stop abortion.
Rather than seeking to slash these. But in each case, they took the position that would make it more difficult for parents to raise children, increasing the likelihood that a pregnancy would end in abortion. Because this was never about saving babies. It was about controlling women and maintaining traditional hierarchy, which in the economic sense would be challenged by larger safety nets.
Why are these people so...
I'm sorry. This puts literally all of the power in women's hands. They're like, hey, you want in this? You better make sure you're wrapped up. You better be ready to be a dad. They have literally all the power now, and they can't be forced into abortion, which, by the way, does happen. We don't ever talk about that part where guys like, bitch, you getting an abortion.
Why are these people so pathologically unable to understand that their opposition has a point? I mean, it's not you don't even need to say it's a good point, but they're not acknowledging the argument at all. They're not acknowledging that that these people view an unborn child as a person. They're pathologically unable to do so. Why is that? It's not unreasonable.
They don't believe that you can think any way other than the way they do. That's why.
Because they don't believe any of our arguments. They think it's just code for we want hierarchy of white men.
That's actually true. That they think that we are every bit as disingenuous as they are, and that we actually agree with them on all the points. We're just saying that we don't, so that we can, fulfill our nefarious end goals.
We just want to be that mean to women.
Yeah.
We just like hurting women.
Like
even the women who support this like to hurt women.
Yeah, and that's something they don't talk about is women are more against abortion than men are. That is a true statistic.
All right.
Fucking whores trying to keep themselves down.
According to the info I looked up, I think men are slightly more pro-life, but it's like a matter of like 5%. So it's not that huge a difference.
Depends on which poll you look at. Aggregated, men are, it's like 47 to 53 for women.
Yeah.
That's aggregate. And it depends on which poll you do look at.
The one I looked at was Pew Research.
Another thing that I love is they keep saying, this is going to kill women. It's going to No, it's going to save women, isn't it? I thought that was kind of the point.
Back to an earlier point. I actually remember someone explained that to me, and like when I was like an obnoxious teenager, and it kind of like they're not pretending to believe these things just to annoy you. They do sincerely believe them, and like me being an obnoxious teenager, I actually needed to be told that. It's like, oh shit, you're right. Like they're not just like being like evil. They have sincere beliefs. They're just not the same as mine.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they think like striking down Roe v. Wade is like the emperor creating the clone army, and then the white hierarchy is Order 66.
Yes. That's
I
actually a
thought
pretty
that we
good
weren't going to
comparison.
talk about this during the stream.
Hey, Star Wars isn't a superhero thing.
That's true.
I'm staying out of this. Staying out of it. Staying out of it.
I mean, isn't the Force kind of like a superpower?
Kind of.
Although I did make a somewhat superhero Star Wars fanfic in high school.
That you just heard it here first, folks. Frosted has published a Star Wars fanfic somewhere on the internet. You must now find it.
It wasn't on the
I
internet.
hope it's kind of like 50 Shades of Grey.
No, basically the characters
oh,
had.
Luke, said Leia. Oh, Leia, said Luke.
Basically,
They
it was like
masturbated parents.
it was like an action thing with they had like a Boba Fett type suit, jetpack suits, and all that. Hey, I was a dork in high school.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Wow, Frosted. Imagine coming clean on that to being a dork in high school. None of us were dorks in high school.
Definitely not.
And for
I
the record, it was for a creative writing class project. All right. Well, anyway.
Yes, none of us took a creative writing course ever.
I didn't.
It turns out everybody has Star Wars fanfic.
Not me.
Everybody is a Star Wars fanfic.
I guess technically I did in fourth grade. I wrote about we had to write a little funny paper, and mine was about a Luke Skywalker thing, but it was with dental stuff.
I remember, I don't know what year it was. I had to write a story for English class. So I just ripped off an episode of Red Dwarf.
Nice. That's ingenuity right there.
And also,
And apparently the teacher didn't watch the show because they got good marks for it.
And also, I'm pissed off at George Lucas because I thought of having a big fight in the Galactic Senate building before Episode 3 came out. He ripped
I'm
me
pissed off at him for making Episode 3.
All right. So back to the article after that little tangent. All right. Let's see. Namely, the way okay. If that doesn't convince you, there is one final proof that the right cares only about the right cares only about controlling women and nothing for saving babies.
Here we go.
Namely, the way conservatives address in vitro fertilization.
What?
Jessica Valenti has pointed out that if fertilized eggs are persons in the womb, they must also be persons when waiting to be implanted in a woman who has stored them for later usage. But if so, why do abortion opponents not seek to prohibit the discarding of such persons, which occurs all the time, usually after successful implantation, and once a couple or single woman decides they don't want more kids?
That may be the dumbest argument I've ever heard.
Why don't pro-lifers seek to prosecute couples who discard their extra babies or the labs who do? When Alabama
Wait, is he saying that they're discarding fertilized eggs? Or
That's
just
what he's saying.
eggs? Okay.
Yeah.
But
See-
they're test tube babies though. They're not in a womb. They're not
Well,
They're
okay, so he's
viable.
making the case that if you're going to argue that life begins when sperm meets egg, then all those fertilized eggs are also people. So why are you not opposed to them throwing out?
because you can't stick them all in the woman.
Yeah, I mean that's the obvious answer. But just wanted to explain what this idiot's point was because
And like I said, that is the dumbest argument I've ever heard, and I argue with you, Theo.
You can't stick them all in the woman. Challenge accepted.
That'll
When
be the new TikTok challenge.
When Alabama State Senator Clyde Chambliss was asked this a few years ago, he gave the revealing answer, noting that the egg in the lab doesn't apply. It's not in a woman. She's not pregnant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
If you leave
How
it in
can
that
you
lab,
end a pregnant? How can you end a pregnancy if she's not pregnant?
No. He's got an answer ready for you. We're gonna read on.
Right,
God.
because abortion restrictions are not about saving human life. They are about restricting the rights and autonomy of women.
There you go.
The right wing
when
is
an egg is fertilized in a woman, if you leave it alone, chances are it's going to be a baby. When an egg is fertilized in a lab and you leave it alone, chances are it's just going to turn into something nasty that you got to wipe up.
Evolved Potato made exactly that point just as you were saying it.
The right wing is solely about domination and subordination. It is all they've
Well, yeah,
ever
but not
been
in
about.
this
The Republican Party and its ideological leaders are the enemies of women's liberty. They must be defeated, finally and forever. Not compromised with, not understood or brought into some broader bipartisan coalition.
Wait.
Crushed.
These are the people who are saying that men can compete against women.
Yes.
Yeah, they're the party of you ladies.
Well, I thought that this was the party that loved democracy. We love our democracy, except for their democracy. We don't like their democracy. The democracy we like is the one where we win.
I love
And
democracy.
nothing else is allowed.
I love democracy. Alright, well, with the end of the second article comes the second game, which is for the chat only, boobs. And that is the caption contest, where I will give a picture, a photo of a political person or event, and the chat has to come up with a good caption for it, and whichever one we like best, I'll tweet out after the show. So, this week's photo is of Miss Heard sneaking a peek at the jury.
She's such a convincing crier, isn't she?
Oh, it's her best acting so far. I saw clips of Aquaman.
Okay, so I didn't actually see any of this trial because I have better things to do with my time. Am I right in assuming that she was crying and then looked over to the jury for validation of her crying?
Yeah.
She was fake crying and looked over there. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let's see. Whose dog shat in my seat?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. The chat box isn't working. Whatever. Let's see. Here's how I pooped in the bed. Oh my god, all the women are hotter than me. Does anyone believe me? And he scared the crap out of me, like the deuce on his chair. Just the way I like him, uncomfortable and crying.
Oh god.
Amber Heard taking a shit. Face when Johnny presses the buttons and for the ass plug. Not the penis talk again. Not again. The toilet water splashed my butthole.
Got a good one.
What?
I like Jaeger ponies.
Oh. Leave Britney alone. Let's see. Meep. Yeah, I saw that meme on Twitter where it shows her compared to
Beaker.
Beaker
Yeah.
from the Muppets. Okay, now the chat thing is working. All right. Let's see. I wasn't snorting that coke, Johnny out that there.
Put that there.
I'll put that there.
Yeah.
Do I look
I did
believable?
not snort that coke. I did not.
Oh, hi, Johnny.
How's your sex life?
You know, she actually is Lisa from The Room. She's lying about him hitting her.
Yeah.
That's true. That
If-
just made this whole trial about 2,000%.
If Johnny takes the
better.
stand and says, I did not hit her, I did not, I think he should
and
automatically
his name is John. It fits perfectly.
win.
Mm.
Let's see. Her is one of the captions. Oh my god, Rose being overturned. Even actresses have ugly cry face. Well, she's not really crying. Jury duty is better than this. Pooping the bed gave me PTSD. This is my acting in a nutshell. Oh, and of course now we've got You're Tearing Me Apart, Johnny.
Hmm.
I didn't burn the meat. Honestly, stop that. All right. Well, I think I'll cut it off there because we've got a lot so far.
Yeah.
We've got a lot more than we usually do.
That's Monkey's fault. He shows up and the chat gets a lot busier.
I think it's just how much people hate this bitch.
All right. So,
As much as I like the Room reference, I'm voting for Leave Britney Alone.
It's a shame they could have given an actual Lisa quote.
Yeah.
but Johnny's your best friend. I think I gotta go with Just the Way I Like 'Em, Uncomfortable and Crying. Okay,
This is my acting in a nutshell.
So what are you guys picking?
It's a living thing.
Yeah.
There it is.
This is the face made when crapping in the bed.
Yeah. Who hasn't said yet?
I'm just gonna go with the what was the one Terry did?
Leave Britney Alone.
Leave Britney alone. Yeah.
All right. Monkey.
I'm going with that one because it's the only one I really remember.
All right. Well, it looks like Jaeger Pony
Jaeger
wins
Pony.
this week. So congrats to Jaeger Pony, and I'll just copy that down so I can tweet it out later.
Yeah. So up your fucking game, audience.
And Mike
We
Irish
only
thanking
remembered one of them. Jesus.
Mike Irish thanking you for the living thing. So
All right. So on to the next article that I've been saving for Monkey.
Oh god.
10 Steps to Nanette by Hannah Gadsby. A book review.
Ah,
Nice.
son of a bitch.
I think it's funny. All the ones that are designed to torture Monkey are making me laugh the most.
Have we looked this one up before?
That's how it always works with me.
God, so like the unfunny comedy special spawned an extra unfunny book?
Yes.
Tanya Willow.
Jesus H. Christ.
I'm trying to find a picture of her, but there's several people with that name.
When I first stumbled upon this stand-up comedy show on Netflix, I was stunned.
Even the author puts it in scare quotes. They know it's not funny.
Yeah. I was stunned by its genius. Nobody
What?
else in my house thought it was quite as genius as I did, so it's not everybody's cuppa. But I blame that on a lack of seeing rather than on the content of the show itself.
Yeah, look, usually I find rape quite funny, just not that time.
Now,
Yeah.
before we go any further, This woman, Tanya Willow, follows Tim Wise on Medium.
That's why we like her so much.
Yep.
It came to Netflix during the height spelled wrong of the during the Higgit of the Me Too movement. So I think that gave the show more psychological space to be heard by general audiences than if there had been no Me Too. In fact, the author
Is this going to explain how somehow a comedy special that doesn't have any humor in it has any reason existing?
well, you'll have to pay attention to the article, Jack.
Yeah.
Boobs.
In fact, the author herself says that Netflix probably would not have filmed the show had it not been for #MeToo. Its content otherwise irrelevant to most of Netflix watchers, or so its executives would have believed. #MeToo's entire point was that almost all women have been molested in some form or another. Our bodies...
Well,
as
we're working on that almost part. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get to
Yeah.
everyone.
Citation needed, dumb fuck.
let's see. Our bodies, as expressed by the plethora of recent state anti-abortion laws, not being our own,
Jesus Christ.
but constructed for the service and sexual satisfaction of men. My review here is of the audiobook, which is, I suspect, the better choice since it is told by the author, who is a professional stand-up comedian, and so can deliver the book to us better than we could read it to ourselves.
Oh, wow.
And, as modern audiobooks can do, it lifts audio sections from Nanette when the author references them, which really helps with context. The only pain is that she makes references to art and comics she enjoys that I personally found hard to then Google when heard, rather than if I had it in front of me on the page. But I've come across that particular issue before with nonfiction, sometimes even fiction, audiobooks. You cannot mark or underline an audiobook. Maybe they should figure out markers for audiobooks.
How?
Oh, God.
Oh my god. This is the most dull human being on the planet describing the most dull book written by the most dull comedian. Holy shit.
The book is about how the stand-up comedy show Nanette was created, from life experiences the author has had in a world that cannot embrace her because of how she presents physically, and how she was left mostly defenseless because of how her mind interprets the external world.
That's so funny! You should write a stand-up special about that.
Well, there's good news on that front, Jack.
Yeah. With the particulars of being a gay autistic woman, she lacks the capacity to represent the convention of how a woman should be, and is
No, no, she
devastating.
doesn't.
Also lacks the capacity to write a fucking joke.
Did they just say autistic women can't look like women?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
And is devastatingly punished for it. Yet her experiences as a marginalized person unites her to her audience. Almost everyone has failed to conform to a particular expectation and has felt the wrath of others for that failing. Almost every living human who wants to survive within the context of a social construct has conceded a piece of who they actually are to survive, whether they are conscious of that deadening act or not. Isn't that the exact hell of middle school, where we first learn to kill ourselves off to avoid being fatally outcast? Where boys especially...
Not for me.
So wait, you're complaining about learning to socialize?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. How hard for you to actually have to get along with the rest of humanity. That must have been really difficult. I'm so sorry that you had to do the thing that every single human being has to do in order to get along in this world. It must be really awful.
Well, she's gay
Yeah,
and
it
autistic,
must-
so it's special.
It must be even worse to have to do things like wait in line at the DMV. Holy shit! I feel so bad for you having to go through that experience that nobody else, that literally everybody else on the planet has to do.
Let's see. Lost my place. Okay. All right. Where boys especially hone their cruelty so that nobody will suspect they're true, all over the place, newly woke sexual wants.
What?
Where they learn to where they learn to vociferate every girl who does not fit their inherited notion of beauty. Where she learns to conform to that construct or be seen as less than nothing. Because only men judge women by their looks.
That's true. Women are very, very compassionate and understanding. There's no jealousy. There's no bitching, no backstabbing. They're all just loving and friendly and good to each other.
Yeah.
I bet that if you left women to do everything by themselves, the world would be just such a lovely place all the time.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Women would never have any problems were it not for men.
Yeah. It reminds me of the Survivor thing where they split them up into men and women, and like the men just had their society built in like up and running within the day, and like the women needed to be saved by the crew, or they would have all dehydrated and starved to death.
Is that on YouTube or something? Because I'd like to watch that.
I'll see if I can find it and I'll put it in Discord for you.
Let's see. And here is the genius of the show. Its capacity to see ourselves in a person most of society at best does not see at all, or that pulverizes her if she dares take up any coveted space or utters an unsanctioned word. What makes the show uncomfortable by design is that it points out the guardians of conformity and shows them to the audience, whether those guardians see themselves for what they are or not. The guardians are the benefactors of the construct, mostly white cisgender men. A group she describes as being very able to take a joke, which of course sends laughter through the audience.
What?
Laugh. You're supposed to laugh. That was a joke.
Oh.
I just looked it up. It wasn't Survivor. It was The Island with Bear Grylls.
Oh, of course.
This is why I suspect the show is accused of not being comedy at all. It makes fun of the central mechanisms of our colonial culture. Only the colonialist can make fun of culture, the cogs in service to it from far outside the central hub itself cannot.
For the record, I don't call it comedy because she spends way too much time crying about being raped.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
I mean, if somebody else was laughing about it, sure, but she actually cries, and unlike Amber, there's a tear that comes down.
I think that it's still the funniest cut I've seen of that is Bearing superimposed with laughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was actually funny.
On Amber Heard or on Hannah Gadsby?
Nanette.
On Hannah.
No,
on
they
Nanette.
show a clip of Nanette and Bearing superimposes laughter over
So it'll be
story.
Hannah Gadsby saying, "What did I do to deserve that? Why was I picked off the pack and abused in that way?" And then Bearing will go, "Ah!" Like he'll play like canned laughter and like.
I wish Bearing made longer videos.
Yeah, or at least more of them.
Yeah. Let's see. The revelation of the hub itself is only newly exposed. I would say in this country, that is the United States, it was around the 2016 campaign and was given laser focus when Donald Trump came to power. He had shoved so many outside the center of the power hub, attracting his base by refusing to even pretend that anyone outside white straight men belonged there. He had inadvertently exposed white straight men as a subcategory.
Hannah Gadsby was in Australia.
That's true.
Is there anything that these people can't connect back to Donald Trump in some
No, there's
ridiculous
not.
fashion?
There is literally nothing.
Trump or Gamergate.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. There are people who disagree with you, lady. There are people who disagree with you. They don't think you're right. They think you're wrong. They think that your ideas cause harm to society in general. And it's not because they're evil and it's not because they want to oppress you. It's because they have legitimate grievances. And you have to deal with that. You have to learn to deal with that because you're in total denial of reality. You fucking lunatic.
They were no longer the invisible water in which the rest of us swam, strived in, and failed under, but were now seen as the orchestrators of a construct. We woke. And this contagion was happening around the world as right-wing forces used and uses all its highly practiced institutional and individual violence to make their structure great again, and normalized back to its unchallenged, life-deadening grind.
Wow.
It is within this waking moment that Nanette soared. It had a context to be heard.
God,
For me,
It didn't even soar. It got a lot of play from, well, pissed off lesbians.
the
that
biggest
means soaring.
reason the biggest reason it took off at all, I think, is because so many people saw it and said, "Where the fuck are the jokes?" And then the pissed off lesbians had to run to its defense, and that's what gave it the platform that it didn't deserve.
Yeah. I remember at the time, even the people defending it didn't pretend it was funny. They said it was important. No one ever said it's actually very funny.
Post
No
comedy.
one.
Post comedy. They literally came up with a new term for it.
Yeah,
Post comedy, i.e., not comedy at all.
exactly.
And one of the funniest things about this article you're reading right now is, she goes, some people say it wasn't comedy. Hannah Gadsby herself said it was not meant to be funny.
Yeah.
Well, then why did they call it a comedy special?
Because
so
she's
people
a
would
comedian.
actually tune in, because if they called it a TEDx, nobody would have looked.
But didn't you hear that side-splitting joke that she mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
For me, knowing how such a genius show was constructed would be a fascinating journey, and the book
I'm
does not
sure it
fail.
would be.
The book, for me, is every bit as genius as the show itself. But there's not really a popularized context for that, a new conformity around understanding how experience gets expressed into art. That's just something only some people would be interested in. A definite subgroup, but one this book will not disappoint.
All three people. I remember there was a guy on Joe Rogan trying to convince Joe Rogan that that Nanette was actually funny.
Yeah, I remember the clip.
Yeah.
I'm sure that went over well.
Johnny Hellcat, it started a conversation about how shit it was.
It's still a conversation.
It started a conversation, translated means we fucked up but can't admit it.
Yeah.
It started a conversation that led to nobody talking about this woman's other comedy ever. She has done actual comedy shows. It's still not funny, but
Yeah.
You can find them out there on the internet.
I've seen a few of them actually.
Yeah, and at least you can tell she's trying to be funny in those. Nanette, she wasn't trying to be funny. She was. It was a TED Talk, is what it was.
It was more like a reading of her diary.
Yeah, that could be it too. Yeah. Dear diary, why do all the men in my life try to rape me? Get better friends, bitch.
Cute laugh track.
Here's an idea. Maybe you're just a poor judge of character.
Seems like a problem. They sure as fuck ain't doing it because she's so hot.
That's true.
All right. Well, it's now time for the last game of the night,
This is the best game.
and that is Poe or No Gender
a little
Edition. Yeah. You already did
Somebody mute Jack.
it. And this is the one where I give you 3 genders, 2 of which are from the LGBTIA wiki, meaning they're 100% real, and 1 I made up, and you have to figure out which one is made up. And
They're all made up.
I'll even give you short descriptions of each one.
Do I win?
All right. So, gender A. Cereal gender.
Gender A is not a thing.
Cereal gender.
Food gender related to breakfast cereals.
That's got to be real. Who doesn't identify with cereal?
Gender
I'm
B.
Lucky Charms.
Gender B. Soup gender.
I knew it had to be.
Soup. Of course it is cereal and soup.
Food gender
Winning
Well
that can,
played.
food gender that can only be described as soup.
Wow.
What's the third
Wow,
one?
the creativity is overflowing.
That's not even trying.
Has anyone heard anything other than soup described as soup?
I'm just thinking of Rodney Dangerfield describing the Great Gatsby. Oh, the Great Gatsby. He was great.
All right. And gender C. Static gender. Xenogender that is best described by TV static, fuzzy and incomprehensible. All right, so I'll start a poll in chat so chat can get in on it. And don't forget, one option is that they're all real.
I feel like either A or B has got to be fake.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's too perfect for them both to be. Yeah.
Can I have the definition of A again?
Let's see. Food gender related to breakfast cereals.
I'm going with A on this.
I'm going with A.
I'm gonna go with C just because I think it would be absolutely hilarious if they are both real.
That would be great.
That would be. I wouldn't even mind losing the game, honestly.
Well, so far
If they
the
were both real.
so far the chat is leaning towards they're all real, with A in second place. All right. Okay, so Monkey and Jack, you said A.
I'm gonna go B.
Make sure Frosted doesn't win. One of us has to get it right.
All right. Terry.
I'm going C.
All right. Give another few seconds for the chat. All real is still in the lead with 35%. Looks like the poll disappeared.
I can still see it.
I can see it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Maybe try refreshing. I don't know. Yeah, all right. Well, we got 27 votes in. I'll call it there.
I can see the poll, but I'm afraid it's a little too static gender right now.
All right. Well, the chat went with all real with 33% of the vote. So,
All bases covered.
so the answer is A is fake.
Oh,
Yes.
And
The wording was a giveaway of the definition. A little bit.
Yeah, B was so simplistic. I was like, Frosted would have put more effort into that.
Yep. And C
So that's
had
why I can
Xeno
look at-
gender thing listed there, so I was like, that's got to be real.
I was
No,
between A
Frosted
and
has
C.
done xenogender.
I'm sure he has, but I am not aware of that, so that's what I went with.
Ah,
I was between A and C because I was with Jack where the definition of B was just so pathetic that I have more faith in Frosted than that.
It
All right,
was
I
just
got-
like,
I
I'm
gotta start-
feeling like a soup today.
I gotta start putting less effort into the fake ones.
Yes, because they sure as hell aren't.
All right, so let's take a look at the real genders flags.
I am feeling like soup today, so I will make a soup gender. It is the gender that feels like soup.
All right, so there's soup gender.
Does it look like a Warhol?
It's stripes with a bowl of soup in the middle.
Yep.
It's very minimalistic.
And there's static gender.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's stripes covered in TV static.
I do like
Yeah.
that one.
If it was just one solid TV static, I think that would be the best possible design.
That's what I was expecting it to be honest. They
what,
actually ruined it with stripes.
what you do is like you hit the flag on the top and then the static goes away.
Got to get a coat hanger.
Hey.
I think that they're missing an opportunity for a GIF to make a GIF flag.
Yeah. I mean, we probably have the technology or something. You know, that don't they have flexible screens nowadays?
I mean, it's not like these flags are going to be real or anything. It's not like anyone's going to make a real, like, sew together a static flag. I mean, come on.
So you
Wait.
just reminded me there was a thing on Twitter where this woman was standing in front of a flag and the comment was, what gender is that flag for? She goes, that's the German national flag.
Well, you've never seen an army marching under a flag with a bowl of soup on it?
I would love to see that.
If you were a soup, what kind of soup would you be?
You think the soup genders are allied with the cracker genders?
They'd have to be.
All right.
So I did ask someone at work if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? And it turns out that their surname, Ferguson, is a type of tree. So they just sent me a link to the Wikipedia article. Like, damn.
Apparently Spudgun DM'd you the two flags monkey.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I like that static one. It just looks cool.
Yeah. I agree with Jack. I think it would be better if it was just one color or static.
Or if the bars underneath it at least had some color, and then you just had static over it.
These people are
so it's not completely gray.
You know, I just had an idea for a standby gender where it has that one thing where it shows all those different colors.
Color pattern.
Yeah. Standby gender.
Test pattern.
There you go, Frosted. Make it so for next week.
Test pattern gender.
Now's the end of our
Where
podcast.
you feel like a
gender.
test pattern.
It looks like a cheap rug you'd get at Walmart.
It does. It really does.
All right. Well, now it's time for our final article.
Oh, God.
Clarence Thomas is the most destructive black person America has ever produced.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
Yep. O.J. Simpson, nothing.
Nope.
Nothing. He's got nothing on Clarence Thomas.
I just love how these people are just everything they say about Clarence Thomas sounds so fucking hollow. Everything. Because not only is he brilliant, but he seems like the nicest guy. Whenever you see him in public appearances, he seems like a really nice guy.
Is this on Medium?
Yep. Or
He's a wrong-thinking black man, so we know what Darren Mays would think of him.
or the DC sniper. Yeah, he's a better person than Clarence Thomas.
Oh, he was a good guy, man.
Yeah. Typically, when we conjure up thoughts or discussions about black history or black people, It's in the context of breaking color barriers. Black History Month, our resilience, suffering, inequities, disparities, and accomplishments amid living in a racist society, and rightfully so. Our blood, sweat, sacrifice, and tears have often been the reason why America did not become a slaveocracy and still clings to the idea that it can be a democracy.
Hey, Monkey.
Yeah,
Who was the first black Supreme Court justice?
Thurgood Marshall.
And what leaning was he?
He was left.
Just checking. For some reason I thought that he was right.
No, he definitely had. It wasn't even. Wasn't it Kennedy or Johnson who put him up there?
I don't know.
Well, he actually, now that I think of it, he was one of the people who presided over Roe versus Wade, wasn't he?
I want to say yes, but don't quote me on that.
I think he did. All right. Let's see. The constancy of this reality has been draining, tiring, and quite frankly unfair to an individual and collective group of people that have only asked to be human and free to live, love, and die without the burden of saving a nation from itself.
Nope, nobody asked you to, homie.
All right, the black race is not Batman. I just want to point that out.
They're not the race we deserve. They're the race we need.
Black people killed Harvey Dent. Nevertheless,
And let Rachel die, the bastards.
Yeah. Nevertheless, as millions of us look to Frederick Douglass, Ida B. Wells, Barnett, Dr. Martin Luther King, along with everyday black Americans for inspiration, context, and courage, there's a dark side to the American experiment that involves black people. And
Mary Berry?
All the black people you just listed would have found your politics atrocious.
True.
And to understand that horrifying reality, look no further than Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas.
Oh, God. Go ahead, tell me why.
When his life and story are finally written, Clarence Thomas will go down as the most destructive and dangerous black person America has ever produced.
Dun, dun, dun.
Come on, he
Well-
didn't even slap Chris Rock. So Will Smith is already more destructive than this guy.
Marshall was on the court, so when Roe was passed, so he killed a whole lot of black babies.
That doesn't count.
Oh.
And this metric will be easily quantifiable because of the privileged position of power he has been given and the outcomes of his decisions that have impacted millions of Americans. First and foremost, to understand a human being's path toward destruction and dangerousness, it is often a combination of negative experiences, a disproportional and unhealthy pathological response to trauma, societal influences, and a person's character that are weighted differently depending on the person. With regards to
The
Clarence
fuck is this guy talking about?
I think he's just making shit up.
Sounds like it.
maybe he just doesn't like Negroes. I don't know.
I guess. Is this a white guy?
I think I'm starting to suspect there's a book that all these people are reading from, and it just has a whole bunch of buzz phrases in it. And whenever they can't think of anything to say, they just reference the book.
It doesn't show a picture, and the guy's name is Robert Covington. So I
That
don't know
sounds
if
like
he's,
a honky to me.
I don't know if he's black or not.
I think he's a
Alright.
black guy because every picture that I looked up with that name was a black guy, but most of them were on the Portland Trail Blazers. So, yeah.
I mean,
First
you got to
and-
remember, Henry Rogers sounds like a white name, but that's Ibram X. Kendi. So,
And not to mention,
mean,
Barry White is black, but Jack Black is white.
yeah.
Mind blown. First and foremost, to
Wasn't there a
understand...
Bloodhound Gang song that made that point?
I don't know. I've never heard of them.
Hmm.
First and foremost, to understand a human being's path toward destruction and... Oh, wait, I did that part. With regards to Clarence Thomas, only he knows as to what degree having his black father abandon him and his mother sending him to live with grandparents impacted his sense of self-worth. or the experience of subtle and overt racism that may have contributed to the posture of self-hatred that seems to ooze from his life as a
I
jurist.
found him.
Huh?
I found him. I'll throw his Twitter link in the side chat there,
Oh.
in the private chat, guys.
Is he black or white?
He's Carlton
He's black.
from Fresh Prince.
Ah, okay. Only he knows why it's been paramount for him to seek proximity, acceptance, and validation in conservative and white circles throughout most of his professional career. We'll never know. We'll never know publicly what was the breaking point for this damaged man. But what we do know is that Thomas is a black man that has used his power to harm American regression, and has given a lot of control to some of the most dangerous entities in our society.
This damaged man. You're writing for Medium. He's on the Supreme Court, motherfucker. How do you get off calling him damaged, you piece of shit?
His disastrous history of Supreme Court decisions, whether it's allowing white supremacists to enact voter suppression laws that hurt all Americans, but disproportionately hurts black and Latino Americans, environmental laws, corporate control of our elections, labor laws, women's rights to self-determination, discrimination, affirmative action, the Constitution and the rule of law, he's proudly been on the wrong side of history and humanity.
Can I just ask a question? Frost has been reading about how evil Clarence Thomas is for a while. Has the author actually presented any evidence as to this yet, or has he just basically just been throwing out every buzzword?
He thinks the wrong
dictionary?
things, Jack. How much more evil can you get?
Yeah.
Has he even referenced anything Clarence Thomas has said or did specifically?
Nope.
I mean, a lot of these words are underlined, so they're probably links.
Clarence Thomas is married to a white woman who was a right-wing extremist.
No!
Basks in conspiracy theories and is a strong Trump supporter. And as Mark Joseph Stern from Slate points out, Ginny Thomas expressed support for the Trump insurrection. On top of that, the ethically and morally repulsive Clarence Thomas, as of this writing, refuses to recuse himself from cases that may involve his wife.
Now, what I think we should point out is may involve his wife means may involve any white person, because white people are a collective to people like this. So, yeah,
that's right.
If this will affect white people, he should recuse himself because his wife is white.
Let's see. It is no coincidence that Republican white supremacists would like to erect a statue of Clarence Thomas in his home state of Georgia.
The white supremacists want a statue of a black man. I think they're white supremacy wrong.
Yep.
No, he's a white guy. He's an Oreo or something. He's an Uncle Tom, you know.
Well, they definitely think he's one of those.
They intrinsically, instinctively, and substantively know Thomas is a black face that has reliably represented their cruel and anti-democratic interests. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas will always be recognized as a black American, but he'll never be honored as one.
Well, you just said the white supremacists would.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. On its merits, something that Clarence Thomas would claim to support, he's been an enemy to black advancement and progress. As previously outlined, the record speaks for itself. This is not a partisan assessment, it's a human assessment. His
He definitely
impact...
does come across as a very unbiased author.
This is not partisan, you guys.
Yeah, there's nothing partisan about calling white supremacists worshiping a black man. There's no partisanship involved in that assessment at all. It's all very, very unbiased.
Oh yeah.
His impact has been real and devastating in the present, and likely for generations to come.
You're not even saying what he did.
He had the wrong opinions.
Yeah. His inevitable infamy happens because, at his core, Clarence Thomas is an awful human being.
Do you even know what the Supreme Court is? Do you know anything about anything?
I know
Prove
what the
to me
Supreme
right
Court
now
is.
that you're.
It's
Prove
the-
to
It's
Sorry.
named after Diana Ross. Obvious.
prove to me right now that you're actually a speaking, living human being, and not just an AI that's read a whole bunch of other Medium articles and has just slapped this together.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you several pictures, and click each one that has a bike in it.
What we need is what was the name of the test from that movie with Harrison Ford?
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. What was the name of the test? We need that test for this author. So, someone in chat will get it, I'm sure.
Let's see, the Voight-Kampff test. All right. This man will forever be a source of disdain and embarrassment for large segments of the black population. And in the end, a cautionary yet catastrophic reminder of what could happen when a black person has lost their soul.
Oh.
Follow me on Twitter.
Sorry, I've been quiet at the end of this. I'm reading all of the little links that he provided here. This guy's a fucking retard.
So
You
tell us
needed those links to tell you that?
tell us about all the atrocities that Clarence committed, Monkey.
Well, like in the one for allowing white supremacists to enact voter suppression laws. This this goes back to 2013 when the Supreme Court decided that the Voting Rights Act was improper the way it was because it literally was only punishing some states, making them let the federal government. It was the right ruling, you retard. The one for which one was? I'm sorry, I closed all of the links as I read them, but the corporate control of our elections, that was for the Citizens United. Labor laws shooting down, saying that people didn't have to give public unions their money if they didn't want to be in the stupid union. Yeah, this guy just either he can't read or doesn't understand what he reads, and I'm not sure which it is.
Or he's just completely full of shit.
Or he's one of those Democrats who, black Democrats who are like, if you don't think Democrat, then you're a bad Negro.
Yeah, the Biden quote. You ain't black.
I'm sure Clarence Thomas will be put on trial at The Hague any day now.
By the way, this guy also has an article titled America Needs a White MLK.
What about what's his face? Sean King.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I had.
Well played.
That's all I had for tonight, gentlemen. So I'll take a moment to shill my co-host and guest. Let's see. I Like Boobs has Quippers United on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Moonshock has his Streamlabs still in the chat to help his dog get his tail removed. And he also has his Twitch channel where he plays games that aren't as good as Super Seducer.
Yeah.
Let's see. Terry is on Six of Sober streams. He's on Quippers United. He's on Johnny Hellcat streams. He's on One Ton Hammer's Minions Nights.
Mm-hmm.
Is that everything?
Yeah.
He also has a YouTube channel that has no content on it, but you should subscribe to it anyway.
No.
That is true.
No, if you subscribe to it, your dick falls off.
Which means you'll be oppressed and therefore privileged, and therefore you should.
Yeah. You can call yourself a trans person.
Exactly.
You could call yourself
And
a
then
trans
you
person
can-
with a dick.
And then you can enter boxing and then beat up women.
There you go.
And isn't that really what this is all about?
That's a
Oh,
good
wow.
That's a good question,
Keep
Della.
it, no, Keep It In is proving exactly what Jack said. She subscribed to me, and as she points out, she has no dick.
Yeah, that
That's
proves
proof
me
right
right.
there.
That proves me right.
No, it makes your dick fall off, which makes you oppressed, which makes you privileged, which means you should do it.
Nah. Yeah.
It's true, Your Honor. This man has no dick.
All right. And Monkey, anything you want to shill?
No, I'm good.
All right. Yeah, Monkey does nothing. You know, he's been on YouTube like twice.
I still think with all those opinions of his, he should get a show.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've thought
Well,
about
why
it. I'm
don't
just so
you just
lazy.
co-host with Jack Cochran? He seems like he's got some opinions that might be funny.
Nah, it would never work, Terry.
My mistake.
What about those Scribe and Satsu fellas? You know, I think that has potential.
Yeah. They're pretty cool guys.
Yeah. All right. So, we should be back next week, same time, Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Yay.
Boy.
Are we live?
No.